Ripple talks about their hidden road purchase and how it's going to use XRP and XRPL. We'll talk price action at the end, along with tariffs, triggering market crashes, CPI data tomorrow, and
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
that's right, you heard me correctly. Ripple's going to be using XRP with their hidden road purchase. But before we get into the news and the discount on aisle 5 and the screen, your comments come first. Hot, spicy, naughty, relevant. Maybe I'll share it with everyone at the beginning of the next video. Paul Martin says, I always knew Saylor would do this. He bet against future debt and bought the top BTC because he's a moron. Yeah, I agree. When you look at Saylor, he bought a ton of BTC during FOMO time. Yeah, and now my guy might even have to sell. So did Saylor buy high and sell low? Nigel Moffat's hanging out with us, dropping support on the channel. Thank you kindly, sir. Says thanks. Always cheers me up to have a bit of Klaus on a shitty day. Well, I've got some good news, I've got some bad news, and I've got some red heat map news for you. Thank you for the support, kind sir. Deborah Bell dropping support on the channel as well. Says you are the absolute best. I don't know about that. In the sea of crypto content news people, saying that I'm the best is not much of a compliment if you catch my drift. Bitcoin sitting at 76,961. We're going to talk about why the market's red, and do we have any hope for turning green, or are we going to go further red? ETH at 1462, XRP at 179. I'm icing my foot down while I do this video. HBAR at 14.8, Sol at 104. XLM is melting faces, but they're melting what? 21-cent faces. Crypto market's off. What's triggering the market crash and global chaos? That's right. Last night we started seeing more action. Why? China. Reciprocal tariffs. They're fighting back. I told you we would have to go through this. The so-called economic nuclear war triggered by President Trump introducing aggressive tariff plan has contributed to extreme instability in the global market. As of now, none of the top global markets are showing bullish signals except for China. And do we really believe them? The S&P 500, the Euro stocks, blah, 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 blah. Basically what happened was China snapped back and was like, all right, cool. We're going to raise your tariffs to 84%. This is from Bangkok, the AP. China again vowed to fight to the end Wednesday in an escalating trade war with the United States. Hey, that's today. It would raise tariffs on American goods to 84% on Thursday. So basically what's happening here is Trump is hoping that players come to the table and they remove the U.S. tariffs, or they come to an agreement that both parties like. China's like, no, girlfriend. You put tariffs on us, we're going to put even bigger tariffs on you. Beijing also added an array of countermeasures after U.S. President Trump raised the total tariff on China imports to 104%. Beijing said it was launching an additional suit against the U.S. at the World Trade Organization and placed further restrictions on American companies. This is what they said. If the U.S. insists on further escalating its economic and trade restrictions, China has the firm will and abundant means to take necessary countermeasures to fight to the end. Trade war causing us to go, what everyone, deep in the red in the discount zone. Department of Justice shuts down the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team. I'm cool with this. Listen to why. The department's Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche sent a memo on Monday announcing that the department will no longer pursue litigation or enforcement actions that have the effect of superimposing regulatory frameworks on digital assets. Basically what they're saying is, look, we're not going to reach with the law. We're going to let new regs kind of come in and see what happens. Yeah, I think that's good because that's part of Choke Point 2.0, girlfriend. XRP ETF debuted yesterday. Here's how it performed. It doesn't fucking matter. And for any stupid ass knob gobbler, petarded dorkin humper out there that says, oh, this Tecrium's 2x long, XRP was a good thing. No, it's not. You know why? Because the transactions are over the counter. Which means it doesn't help us. It means it helps who? Ripple, the company. Yeah, so that's not good. So anyone out there that's like, oh, the world is changing. We launched our first XRP ETF. No, that's not good. All right. Ripple shelves the IPO plans even after the SEC lawsuit. Okay, I actually like this. The more I think about it, the more I don't want Ripple to go IPO. Because if they go IPO, that means then people would have more control over the direction of the company outside of Ripple. It's just like Microsoft. Microsoft went public, okay, a while ago. They wanted to add BTC to their strategic reserves. So they asked their people, their shareholders, do you want BTC in your strategic reserves? They voted no. So even if it's something that someone wanted, the shareholders can vote no. Long, talking about Monica Long, began providing more details on the recent deal between Ripple and the prime broker Hidden Road, which is going to be using XRP. I've got the story for you. You're going to love this. PR described Hidden Roads as one of the fastest growing prime brokers around the world. This is what she said. We are at an inflection point for the next phase of digital asset adoption. The U.S. market is effectively open for the first time due to the regular overhang of the SEC coming to an end. And the market is maturing to address the needs of traditional finance. Very important. All right, now let's get into Hidden Road, because Garlinghouse is like, yo, XRP, XRPL, got the deets for it. Perhaps the most notable component of this deal is how Ripple plans to operationalize XRP and XRPL within Hidden Road services. Okay, let's learn. As detailed by Ripple's executive team, Hidden Road will begin clearing some trades through the XRP ledger, slashing settlement time from a full day via fiat rails to mere seconds. Fiat rails, my bad on that, everyone. This kind of efficiency gain is impressive. Now, here's where stuff gets very interesting. According to the momentum, Ripple's RLUSD will be used as collateral across Hidden Road's asset brokerage services. We knew that. They're going to be using stablecoins as collateral. This move positions RLUSD to become the cornerstone liquidity instrument. The implications are profound, with one digital asset, XRP, powering transfers and another backing trades. So essentially, they're only using XRP for gas fees on XRPL. That sucks. That they're not using XRP for settlement. They're saying it right here. They're going to be using RLUSD as the liquidity instrument, and XRP is what powers transactions on XRPL. And when we've gone on XRP Scan and XRP Ledger Explorer, guess what? We've learned that this doesn't do jack shit. It doesn't. There has been nothing that has happened on XRPL where XRP is used for gas fees that's helping out the price. Now, let's go into XRP specific. So again, the news here seems to be benefiting Ripple as a company and RLUSD as a product. Oh, my alerts on my phone were going off. Why? Because we got a discount, baby. Let's go to those candlesticks. We're going to swing it on over to the 15-minute candlestick here real quick. Because yes, XRP's volume is healthy at 7.2 billion, but it's the exchanges making money on that action. Yeah, they make money on the volume. But let's go back to those candlesticks and take a look. We got 15-minute up on the screen. I shared this with you yesterday. I said, hey, look, you've got a big pushback right around $2, a big pushback just a little under $2, and then we got a little bit of support erroneous above what? Above 172. This is not good. Like, this is a very, very downward momentum push. And this is not what you want to see. Why? Because CPI data is happening tomorrow. And if CPI data is bad, more red up on the screen. China's also snapping back saying, girlfriend, tariffs? Oh, we're going to fight that tariff war to the end. Hence pushing the markets further down. XRP being used as no. XRP not being used for settlement or collateral. That's not good news. RLUSD is. The XRP ETF that launched. Transactions are over the counter, which does not benefit any of us because it does not mean they're going to be going through the exchanges and so forth. That's not good. You've got a lot of bad macros right now in the market. You've got obvious rejections at the $2 mark right here. And if we zoom out to the 1-day chart, this is where stuff gets scary, because I sure as hell hope that we didn't just pump all this with the November election hype to only erode it all the way on down. And here's why. Look at this. Look at these lows. These lows have gotten even lower. In fact, we even breached the Bloody Sunday price action. In fact, look, we are right now at the bottom of Bloody Sunday price action. And players are like, yo, we're not going any lower. That was February 3rd. Well, here we are 2 months and change later, and our low is even lower to $1.61. In fact, if you look at some of the other big cryptos out there that we like to follow, and let's bring up XLM real quick here. Watch XLMs when I go to the 1-year chart. Yeah, it appears as if we've pumped it all, and now we're eroding it all. XRP is holding a bit better here, right? When we go to the 1 year, you can see a little bit more of a support structure right here. But right now, we've got a lot of bearish sentiment. And yes, It is good news for Ripple to buy Hidden Road. Yes, it is good news for Ripple as a company in RLUSD. But when they say that XRP is powering transfers and RLUSD is backing trades, that sucks. We want XRP to be backing the trades. We want XRP to be providing liquidity, not the 0.00001 XRP that's used for gas. That sucks, everyone. And with China putting their feet on our throats, girlfriend, we might be riding the pain train for a while. And that's why I'm getting so annoyed with the crypto space. Everyone yesterday was like, oh, the ETF is awesome. No, it does everything over the counter, which means it does not help us at all. Again, it benefits Ripple, the company. Oh, bro, this Hidden Road stuff, they're going to be using XRP. They're using XRP to move stuff on XRP Ledger, which is already happening right now, which doesn't help us out price-wise. They did not, I repeat, they did not use XRP for liquidity or for clearing. They chose RLUSD. So again, tons of players out there in the YouTube and Twitter sphere going, oh, this is bullish. No, it's not, because they're not using XRP for anything meaningful. Using XRP for gas fees sucks. You know why? Because the burn rate is like nothing. Because XRP is super cheap to move money with. So they're using XRPL. RLUSD is used for liquidity and clearing. And XRP is just used to move stuff. Yeah, that's just like XLM being used to move stuff on the Stellar chain. It doesn't help out the price because it's so cheap to move stuff on chain. The transactions would have to be absolutely bonkers, like you've never seen in your life, like none of us have ever seen. We're talking hundreds of years down the road to get any price action from that. So yeah, am I happy for Ripple as a company? Sure. Am I happy for RLUSD in the ecosystem? Sure I am. But again, direct benefit for XRP is not seen here, as Ripple chooses not to use XRP for settlement, but instead to fuel transactions on XRPL, which it already does. So again, their announcement, nothing burger. Now, in terms of what's going on with CPI data, yo, I wish CPI data wasn't this important. I wish we were sitting here at the beginning part of April going, yo, CPI data, we could glance over, but no, it's going to play a huge role, especially with the tariff stuff going on. And yes, we're going to be having a live stream regarding that, so check us out, because tomorrow, probably at about 8 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to be launching the live stream. And yes, open questions, open comments, talk about whatever you want. Bro, I don't want to hear about me being negative with XRP when it's used over the counter for the ETFs, and when Ripple themselves said, nah, we're going to use RLUSD for settlement and clearing. XRP will just fuel the transactions. Awesome, that doesn't help us out at all. Choo-choo, bitches.